All right, guys, this week's update, weekly breakdown is going to be short and sweet. As you can see on my board here, I've only got 3 items to cover with you, and we're going to go through them really quickly. None of them really like in a more robust update week. None of them would have made the cut, and so if you're going to skip a weekly breakdown, this would be the week to skip it, I would say. Other than the preview I'll give you guys at the end, a little sneak peek into the snapshot that we created over the weekend, specifically for blogging. So if you're interested in blogging, stick around. Otherwise, we got a couple updates that'll be nice and quick for you. Okay. First update that we have is actually an update that was on my board last week, but it wasn't functioning when I tried it. And so that happens from time to time. That's why I'm here and why we do this weekly breakdown is because for you to keep track of this would be sometimes infuriating. First update is universal elements inside the page builder. So what does this mean? Well, we've had universal elements now for a little bit I'm sorry, not universal elements. We've had universal sections and universal rows. I don't know if columns are included in that as well. But basically inside the page builder, everything is organized into columns. Oh, you can't save columns. There we go. That answers that question. So everything is organized into sections, which is the green box. Okay. Another way to look at this is we go to the layers right here, and I open this up page, so we go, this is your section, and then you have your row, and then you have a column inside of that. Like I said, you can't save that. And then you have elements. Elements are the smallest unit of organization inside the page builder, okay? Well, up until this past week, we've had the ability to save universally across the entire account, save sections and rows. What does that mean? That means that I can come in here and, for example, my nav menu right here, I can save this and not only save it as a template, but save this as a section that stays persistent across my entire HighLevel account. Okay. So there's multiple layers of this. There's section templates where basically this just of it, and I can use that template anytime I want, but I can customize that each instance of the template without messing anything up, without changing anything for everywhere else that template is being used. Okay. Then you have global sections. What is a global section? A global section allows you to edit it in one spot inside of the same funnel or inside of the same website and have those changes persist across each instance of that. So this came before Universal did. Universal is the last one. Universal is basically at your account level. So you can have multiple different websites. You can have multiple different funnels. If you save a section as being universal, that means anytime you change it in one instance, in any one of those sites or funnels, it's going to change it across all of those sites and funnels. Okay, so our limitations for a long time were only global sections and section templates. Okay, and then they added universal sections a few months ago. Really cool feature because a lot of people use sites. A lot of people use sites and funnels and have them interact with each other like us. So empowerlo.com is hosted as a website, and we have website pages, but we also have funnels that we host at empowerlo.com that basically intertwine with the website. And so sometimes we want to be able to save an object and have it persist across both sites and funnels, which is where a universal section comes in, because before you could only do it globally, which meant if you went outside of the one website and went into a funnel, those two didn't communicate with each other. And so universal sections were really powerful. So then they added the ability to do this with rows. And then now you can do this with elements as well. So an element, one example of why you would do this, if you have a custom code element that you use to put something on your website that is, that's custom coded, right? If that's the case, then you probably want to save this as something that is universal, so that you don't, anytime you need to make an edit to that code, you don't have to edit it every single place on your website that you're referencing this. Okay. So I can go into elements now and I can go to save element. And now not only can I create a template, but I can make this a universal element. Weird that they kind of skipped the global element here. I'm not sure why, like what the intent is of that. But they do have universal elements that now, if you save it as a universal element and you apply those universal universal elements. You put them throughout different websites and different funnels inside of your account. If you were to go back to one of those and tweak it a little bit, it would tweak it for all of the instances of that element across your site. So pretty cool, kind of a nuanced use case, again, for unless you have your website on HighLevel, and even then, unless you're using websites and funnels in complement with each other, I could definitely see why this wouldn't pertain to you. But a pretty cool feature nonetheless. Yeah. Next update that we have is the AI scheduler. The AI scheduler has existed for a little bit for campaigns. So when you send an email, let me go ahead and pull this up here. When you send an email inside of your HighLevel account, you have options and ways that you can do this. Okay. Our recommendation when you're sending out an email campaign, when you're sending out the same email to a lot of different people, is to use the email campaign feature so that you can use the drag and drop builder. You can create a nice, beautiful template, and then you have sending options from there. Lots of different sending options that you can do. So, if I go new campaign, let's go my templates. So this is what this looks like. And I'm spending a little bit more time with it because again, this is a short, sweet update. We don't have a lot going on here. So let's say I wanted to send this email to a lot of different people. Okay. So if I wanted to do that, this gives me a lot of different options in here. And one of the abilities that I have in here is the ability to smart send, which basically takes, it has the system look at your engagement with every particular lead. And based on when leads have interacted with your emails in the past, it'll send the email on an individual schedule for each lead that it has that data for. If it doesn't have that data for that, then it's just going to send it right away. Okay. Cool feature. Now this is available inside of conversational emails as well, which is kind of interesting. Now, the one caveat to this, which I think is a big caveat, and one reason why this isn't going to be beneficial for a lot of you, is it says this feature is not supported for accounts with two-way sync enabled, even if they use LC or Mailgun. So our recommendation to you guys, when you guys onboard with HighLevel or Empower LO or whatever, our recommendation is that you guys take advantage of the two-way sync option, because it gives you better deliverability on one-off emails, and it consolidates all of your communications into one spot. That's our recommendation. So the fact that this is not available if you're using that feature means that a lot of the people that follow us are not going to get the benefit of this, but that's okay, because I don't know how many people are sending one-off emails out of the system anyways. So what does a one-off email look like? Well, if we go back out of here and we were to go into one of our conversations, if we were to just send an email, right there, okay, this is where the AI sending would come into play. But again, if you have two-way sync that enabled, then it's not going to work. And so again, really edge case, not something that is super exciting in my opinion, but something you might hear about. And so I wanted to make sure that we shared some information with you on it. The last one that I'm going to share with you guys is an update to enhanced blog post previews. Now, normally this wouldn't even make the cut, but we spent some time this weekend putting together a blog snapshot for our clients and for the members of HL4. And so I figured this was a perfect opportunity to share with you guys a little bit about that. So the update is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Basically just improves the ability to preview a blog post once you finish a blog post. So before, if you had custom HTML or CSS or embeds or anything like that, it wouldn't show up exactly how you were going to see it live. Same thing. There are some other little nuanced differences between when you would preview something, which when you preview something, you would expect to be able to see it exactly how it's going to be live, but it didn't work exactly that way. So if you've had frustrations with that in the past, that is now resolved. Apparently the previews now are exactly how you will see them when they are published and live on your site. Now, I promised you guys that I was going to give you guys a little sneak peek of what this snapshot looked like. Well, basically all of it revolves around this idea of a blog site. Okay, this is something that Fraser special requested specifically for his coaching clients. He is encouraging more and more people to start a blog, and just a really simple blog site where you can drive people to and they can subscribe and get regular updates from you is really all they were looking for there. And so now we have this built out in a template ready to go for you. This is the exact one that we put together. We called it the Real Wealth Builder. I have video that I put attached to the snapshot inside of HL4. So if you're not a member of HL4, definitely check it out. We have a video that I put together showing every step of this, from designing the logo up here and using ChatGPT and Nano Banana, the Gemini tool, to create our images, creating the actual blog content. We created 5 blog posts in here for your benefit, all the way down to creating the site. All of this stuff is included in a video, as well as a snapshot where you can access this already built out for you. So you can just jump in, change a couple things, add your blog content, and launch this the way that you want to. So that is blogs. Again, the update here is that now the preview functionality of this works a little bit better. Not worth writing about by itself, but in conjunction with our new snapshot, I figured it was worth sharing. Guys, that's it for this week's weekly breakdown. Super simple and straightforward. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you did and you're not a member of HL4, be sure to join, subscribe on YouTube, however you want to interact with us. We want to hear from you. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the top.